I think most people will agree that we as consumers, there's always something that we care about most every single year when it comes to our smartphone. Will the camera system have 2 lenses? Will it have minimal bezels and a 2:1 aspect ratio? Is it going to have a 4K display? Is it going to have front-facing speakers? There's always something every single year that consumers kind of get wrapped around. And that's the way that manufacturers build their strategies around. But despite all of that, there's always something that remains first and foremost in our minds, and it is the most important aspect of your device, and that is the battery life. Yes, the thing that powers all of those other features. And in a day and age where companies are now making their devices slimmer and slimmer for aesthetic reasons, but which comes at the expense of the battery, I wanted to take a look at the new OnePlus 5 and to see whether or not its 3300 milliamp battery is going to be good enough to last you throughout the entire day. Oh, and if you are also someone who was wondering just like me, with the new reading mode that they introduced into Oxygen OS, where essentially it makes the screen monochrome or black and white without any colors, if you were to employ that throughout the entire day, will that save you battery and essentially make it last longer? Well, to find the answer, stick around in a short video and I hope you enjoy. So today we have a friend of mine. I thought it would be a little bit better to take someone else's opinion instead of just one person, mine, because obviously I use a set of apps that maybe other people will have different sets of apps and different things that they do with their phones and whatnot. So it's always better to have, I guess, 2 samples, right? Better than one. But so you said that the battery life has been good to you.
Yeah.
For me personally, it was a little bit shocking to me because I would usually get like 4 hours usually on any phone that I'd be using.
Same here.
But with this one, I've been noticing consistently at least 7.5 hours to 8 hours and sometimes more of screen on time, which for me, I've never seen that before. And I'm using.
Pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. I'm not sure, if it's because Oxygen OS is so streamlined. I'm not sure if it's the 835 chip that's in there right now. Maybe it's a 1080p display that they put in there instead of the 2K display. But how much screen on time are you getting?
It differs from day to day because sometimes I'll just be at home just watching videos all on my phone the entire day because I'm lazy.
Okay.
And I have a lot of free time. And sometimes if I'm out, well, most of the time whenever I go out, if I'm out the entire day like I was a couple days ago, I usually get about 7 to 8 hours and above.
Yeah. So
I got about 9 hours last time.
9 hours.
Yeah, almost. It was like 8 hours 45 minutes.
And are you using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth?
No Wi-Fi. Just I have Bluetooth enabled, GPS because I was driving a lot, and of course looking through social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, loading videos, sometimes watching Netflix. Wow.
Yeah, the other day I actually, I found, for the first time, I found myself trying to kill my battery, which is insane. So if you're a light user who's not going to be doing a lot of like intensive things like 3D
it'll
games.
last you a day and a half easy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. A day and a half, 2 days if you really want to extend it. But if you're constantly beating on the phone throughout the day, like for example, the other day while I was trying to kill the battery, I watched 2 episodes of something on Netflix. The Hunt. Check it out if you want.
What's the name of it?
It's called The Hunt. I watched 2 episodes of The Hunt.
Ooh, I've seen Castlevania.
I have not.
There's 4 episodes on Netflix. Pretty good actually from the show. You remember the game?
Take it from him, not from me.
Remember the game Castlevania?
Yeah, back in the day, right?
They redid that into an anime show now.
2 years old.
Yeah. I still know it, just but yeah.
Okay. I had Wi-Fi going. I used GPS a lot that day. Phone calls.
I don't think I've ever turned off my location. I
No.
just usually have it on.
I also used hotspot because I was feeding my internet to something else. And another thing that most people don't ever talk about, I actually purchased this phone because I require 2 SIMs. So I have 2 SIM cards in my phone, which means that's double the set of radios that's working right now, or I guess incoming phone calls or messages. So that's something that takes a toll on the battery, but still I was getting 8 hours of screen on time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I found it very impressive. I didn't have to charge my phone twice a day. Once a day was enough. And as a matter of fact, the charger that they supply, that they give you, the dash charger, I wish it was a little bit longer because it's pretty short compared to the other ones that I have. But if you're ever
charge everything short.
if you're ever in a pinch, this helps out a lot. This is what I usually have, 10 feet. You get the point. But yeah, if it was a little bit longer, that would be awesome. But no, in my opinion, that battery life has been really, really good to me.
And the only downside is you have to use the charger and the brick together. Otherwise, you don't get dash charging.
That is true. It gives you a little notification on the bottom of the screen for.
And it lights up whenever you first plug it in. You see the lightning bolt come up. It's pretty dope.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I wish I can give you something as a token of our appreciation. Here's an empty bullet casing. If you, on behalf of us, if you can accept that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see you next time. Okay.
So as you've just heard, the battery life on this thing has been nothing short of phenomenal for me, and it's really a great pleasure using it since I do on a daily basis. So as with anything, I thought, can we push it a little bit more? With this new reading mode that they have, where essentially it makes everything black and white, on an AMOLED screen, that should essentially make the device last a little bit longer, or the battery life should be better, correct? Well, long story short, the answer is no, actually. I went ahead and I used it in reading mode throughout the entire day, and I found little to no change whatsoever. It was actually the same exact battery usage that I was accustomed to. And it was a little bit weird because when you're using things such as Google Maps and you're looking for the traffic area to be denoted by red lines, you're not able to see that. So I thought maybe that would be okay if it's going to give you a better battery life, but since it didn't, I would suggest don't even bother with it unless you're actually reading and want to get into that reading mode. But yeah, that's my experience with it, and if some people had that question, I hope that answered it for you. Other than that, it's been a great device, and I hope you stick around for the upcoming videos that I have planned for it, and I'll see you guys next time.
You want to talk to your dad?
Yeah. I was like, should I turn it off?
Yeah. Should I pick up the phone call or should I?
Just halfway through. Freaks out a bit.
Yeah, because it's so realistic. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Close your eyes.
Oh, that is
Right?
very realistic.
That's me and my old haircut.
I remember your old haircut, yes.
With the gap in the mustache that can't grow hair or whatever. That's